The world's most dangerous places don't always look dangerous at first glance. Some of them seem breathtaking, even inviting. But behind the beauty, they hide forces powerful enough to take your life in an instant. And nowhere is that more true than at the very top of our planet. Take Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth, rising more than 29,000 feet above sea level. You might think the greatest danger is the climb itself, but the real threats are far worse. Thin air steals your breath, your blood can't carry enough oxygen, and your body starts shutting down. That's why climbers call it the death zone. Add avalanches and freezing winds colder than -40 degrees Fahrenheit, and you begin to understand why more than 300 climbers have died here. Many remain frozen in place, silent markers of how unforgiving Everest really is. But danger isn't only in the cold. In the Death Valley Desert of California, the opposite extreme rules. This stretch of land is the hottest place on Earth. Summer temperatures soar past 130 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt shoes on the asphalt. Out here, shade barely helps, and dehydration can set in within just a couple of hours. Early pioneers who tried to cross it gave it the name Death Valley. And for good reason. One wrong move, and the desert can swallow you whole. Then there's the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia, a place so harsh it looks more like another planet. It's one of the lowest, hottest regions on Earth, with temperatures staying above 110 degrees Fahrenheit almost year-round. Acidic lakes bubble with toxic gases, while lava fields spread across the horizon. Even seasoned explorers call it the most hostile environment on the planet. Mountains, deserts, volcanic wastelands. Earth has no shortage of natural death traps. And while you could try to conquer them, the truth is, they're not waiting to be conquered. They're waiting to remind you just how fragile human life really is. Not every danger hides in remote deserts or high peaks. Some places became deadly because of disasters that reshaped them forever. And even decades or centuries later, they still carry scars that can kill. Look at the Chernobyl exclusion zone in Ukraine. In 1986, a reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear plant exploded, releasing clouds of radioactive material into the air. Whole towns were evacuated, and the city of Pripyat, once full of life, was abandoned overnight. Today, the forests have reclaimed the land, and wildlife roams where humans once lived. But don't be fooled, the radiation hasn't gone away. It lingers in the soil, in the buildings, even in the air. You can visit for a short time with protective gear, but stay too long, and the invisible poison begins to break your body down from the inside. Then travel to Lake Natron in Tanzania, a place that looks almost beautiful until you realize how deadly it is. Its waters are highly alkaline, with a pH level as strong as ammonia. That means the lake can burn your skin and eyes on contact. Animals that fall into it are preserved by the salts, turning into eerie, statue-like figures along the shoreline. Only a few creatures, like flamingos, have adapted to survive here. For nearly everything else, Lake Natron is a chemical trap. On the opposite end of the thermometer is Oymyakon in Russia, the coldest inhabited town on Earth. Temperatures here can plunge to -90 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, metal snaps, cars freeze solid, and your breath can crystallize in the air. Imagine stepping outside for just minutes, without heavy protection. Frostbite takes hold almost instantly. Yet somehow, people live here. Children grow up attending school, farmers raise animals, and life continues in conditions most of us couldn't last a day in. Radiation, chemical lakes, bone-shattering cold. These are dangers you can't fight with strength or courage. They remind you that sometimes survival isn't about bravery. It's about respecting the raw, unstoppable forces of the earth itself. If the land can be merciless, water can be even worse. Oceans and lakes may look calm, but they've claimed countless lives in ways that defy explanation or leave no chance of survival. Few places stir as much mystery as the Bermuda Triangle. This stretch of ocean between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico has been blamed for hundreds of disappearances. Ships vanish without distress calls, and planes drop off radar, never to be seen again. Theories range from violent storms and powerful currents to human error and even magnetic anomalies. What's real is this: the area sees unpredictable weather and some of the busiest shipping lanes on Earth. whether legend or truth. Its reputation as a graveyard of the sea still haunts sailors and pilots today. But some places don't need mystery. They're simply deadly by nature. Off the coast of Brazil lies Snake Island, officially called Ilha de Queimada Grande. Stepping onto its shores is forbidden, and for good reason. The island is swarming with thousands of golden lancehead vipers, one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Their bite can cause tissue to rot almost instantly. Locals tell stories of fishermen drifting too close, never returning. Even Brazil's Navy only visits for research, and only under strict protection. Then there's the Great Blue Hole in Belize, a giant underwater sinkhole more than 400 feet deep. From the surface, it looks like a perfect circle of dark blue water, luring divers from around the globe. But beauty here hides danger. As you descend, light fades, nitrogen builds in your blood, and disorientation sets in. Many divers misjudge their depth or run out of air trying to explore its shadowy tunnels. What looks like paradise from above has turned fatal for more than a few who dared to test it. Water covers most of our planet, but it's also one of the places we understand the least. And when you push too far into its secrets, it has a way of reminding you who's really in control. Not every dangerous place is shaped by nature. Some of the most lethal corners of Earth exist because of human conflict, crime, and choices that left scars as lasting as any volcano or desert. Take the coast of Somalia, along the Horn of Africa. For years, it has been one of the most dangerous waters to sail through, not because of storms or sharks, but because of piracy. Small, fast boats armed with weapons can appear from nowhere, boarding massive cargo ships in minutes. Crews have been taken hostage, ransoms demanded, and shipping routes altered out of fear. International naval patrols have reduced attacks in recent years, but the threat hasn't disappeared. In this stretch of ocean, one wrong course could mean never making it home. Move inland, and you find Kabul, Afghanistan. Decades of war have turned daily life into a constant gamble with danger. Bombings, armed clashes, and political instability have left streets scarred and families uprooted. For people living here, the risk isn't just in traveling or working. It's woven into every ordinary task. A trip to the market or a walk to school can be shadowed by the possibility of violence. It's not geography that makes Kabul deadly. It's the unending weight of human conflict. Then there's Ciudad Juarez in Mexico, a city once labeled the murder capital of the world. For years, cartel violence turned entire neighborhoods into battlegrounds. Shootouts, kidnappings, and extortion were daily realities, and the murder rate soared to levels that shocked the globe. While things have improved somewhat, Juarez remains a place where organized crime still exerts a heavy grip. For many residents, trust is rare, and safety is fragile. What makes these human-made danger zones so unsettling is that you can't measure them like mountains or deserts. There's no weather forecast, no geological chart that warns you when danger will strike. Here, the threat is unpredictable, tied to human choices, desperation, and power. And unlike nature, which follows patterns, human violence can erupt at any time, making these places some of the most unpredictable and deadly on Earth. Some places are so extreme they feel less like Earth and more like another world. Here, danger isn't hidden. It surrounds you the moment you arrive. At the bottom of the globe lies Antarctica, a frozen continent that tests every ounce of human endurance. Winds can roar past 200 miles per hour. Blizzards can blind you in seconds, and temperatures plunge far below -70 degrees Fahrenheit. Hidden beneath the snow are crevasses deep enough to swallow entire vehicles. Without specialized gear, survival isn't measured in hours, it's measured in minutes. Scientists who work here train for years, just to withstand conditions that no unprepared human could endure. Then there's the Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of the earth. But step into its depths, and you realize it's also one of the most dangerous ecosystems in the world. Jaguars, venomous snakes, and insects carry risks, but it's not always predators that kill. It's the remoteness. Get lost in the endless green, and finding your way back becomes almost impossible. With diseases carried by mosquitoes, rivers that flood without warning, and no quick way to call for help, the rainforest itself becomes a maze of survival. And finally, the gates of hell in Turkmenistan, a crater that has been burning for more than 50 years. In 1971, a drilling accident released natural gas. To prevent toxic leaks, scientists set it on fire, expecting it to burn out quickly. But the flames never died. Today, the crater still roars with heat, spewing fire and fumes into the desert air. Standing at its edge feels like staring into another realm, where Earth itself is burning from within. From ice and jungle to fire and ash, the extreme ends of the Earth remind you of a single truth: survival isn't guaranteed. And for those who dare to step into these places, the line between life and death is always razor thin.